region of never-ending lightning storms, dwarven ruins, and secret cults worshipping forbidden beings. Thunder constantly rumbles, and secrets hide deep within the earth. Tread lightly, and don't stay in the open for long. The Storm Plains is a massive region of black, rocky hills and old pine forests. There are no kingdoms here, but a few dwarven fortresses dot the land. The dwarves were once part of a larger kingdom, Yulengard, but have since dwindled into a few small strongholds knit together by trade and alliance. Each stronghold will appear to be a series of short towers built on top of tall hills, but they are connected underneath by a series of black polished stone tunnels. Entrance into the strongholds will require going into one of the towers, each of which is garrisoned at all times by at least a squad of dwarven warriors. The dwarves mostly build with brown and black rock, and highlight their structures with bronze. Inside, the walls are lined with copper pipes, which hum and zap with electrical currents. These are grounding tubes, magic rods that absorb the lightning from the air and displace the energy underground. Due to the constant storms, the air is permanently charged with energy, and dwarven structures would be constantly struck with lightning, if not for these tubes. The dwarves wear mostly black and brown furs with bronze armor and jewelry. Each will carry a magic grounding rod that is attached to a harness or kept in a holster to be used when traveling. The rod is not used to attract lightning, but instead de-energize the air around them. The rod when used will spark and zap at the top, draining the area of static electricity, making it safe for the dwarf to travel over the plains. The dwarves worship Mother Earth and Sister Bronze. Mother Earth is represented as a pregnant woman carved from stone, carrying the entire dwarven race. She represents birth, life, and stone. Sister Bronze is an angular-featured dwarf with a hammer and shield. She represents battle strength and protection, which the dwarves will usually pray to for aid against the lightning. There are other religions spread out among the Storm Plains, known as the Voices, worshipped by crazy cults and madmen. These cults require sacrifices and blood to appease their deity, and the followers are on the lookout for travelers, or even sneak into dwarven fortresses to prey with their knives. These gods are strange and mysterious, from the darkest part of reality, and in some cases, beyond. Zilzith, the god of blood and madness, appears as a pool of blood and eyes, with dozens of fangs and maws. Talzarix, the god of blindness and hallucinations, appears as a dozen limbs with a torso of sticky flesh, with an oozing open chest cavity, and a dozen tentacles pouring forth. Zilzalith, the god of decay and self-mutilation, appears as a fleshy orb of claws. There's likely many more, a host of beings trying to gain power, or maybe just one being, with many forms. In truth, nobody knows. The dwarves rule by houses. Each house is made up of a guild, each guild made up of unions. Every dwarven family will own and operate a business, employing only family. This creates a union, a contract between members that they will stay in the family trade, along with laws that govern how the family will behave towards each other. Each family union will align themselves with other dwarven unions of the same craft, forming a guild. Each guild pledges themselves to a house, a noble family within the stronghold, who will look after and protect them in exchange for attacks. The houses will then gather every few years and vote for a lord of the stronghold, and pass laws that will favor their individual guild. This makes it important for dwarven leadership to gain the support of the houses, and in return for guilds to pledge themselves to the strongest nobles, as it is the houses that hold the most power. The storms, the never-ending lumen presence, charges the air with electrical energy, causing armor and weapons to spark, hair to stand on end, and persons receiving painful, although harmless shocks with everything they touch. Throughout the vast region of the storm plains, there is a constant lightning storm that never ends and has never stopped for hundreds of years. The eternal storm continuously buffets the land in high winds and scours the region in endless lightning strikes. There is little rain, but it often hails or even snows, with blizzard-like conditions for periods of time lasting a few minutes to months, trapping travelers caught in an unexpected storm. No one knows the cause for these conditions, some believing it's old dwarven technology long since forgotten deep within mines, or perhaps it's the voices manifesting the storms. Regardless of the reason, one thing is certain, the lethality of travel. For so dangerous are the storms, every 6 hours one spends in the region, they must roll a save or be struck by lightning. Due to the highly charged nature of this region, lightning and composite elementals often spawn from the storms. While not at first aggressive, the region's voices warp the elementals into a more corrupting form. They will grow claws, tentacles, extra limbs, and eyes, becoming fueled by rage and insanity, attacking travelers and strongholds. Moving in huge swarms, sometimes even overwhelming entire dwarven settlements, making an already sparse people near extinct in number. The storms call to all, to some an unheard whisper, never truly noticed, while others actual voices. The call comes from the first breath of life till the last, always there, always hidden. The names of these voices are always on the tip of one's tongue, or mentioned in dreams. While most lose the ability to hear the voices at a young age, some go mad at their constant cries, and begin to carve the names onto their own skin, or upon any surface they can find, using their own blood. The mad will then dig into the earth, as if trying to reach something far below, crying out to the voices. What this is, no one knows, but there is a legend among the dwarves called the Voice of Yulengard. Long ago, when the dwarves were powerful and proud, their bronze strongholds glimmered in the sun, and their numbers were counted in the millions. They dug into the earth seeking riches, and the earth was ripe with gems and gold ore. The treasure of the dwarven halls filled to overflowing. One should have been satisfied with the wealth, but the dwarves continued to dig. Some say a voice called to them from below. The dwarves continued to dig, day and night, going deep into the earth, until they hit a strange humming black stone that sparkled like the heavens, the ore of God. Before they could take hold of it, the earth groaned and the sky cracked with tumbling lightning. The mines began to collapse. The humming turned to voices, and the dwarves went mad, killing each other, and within a day the kingdom fell as dwarves cannibalized each other in the streets, burning the strongholds to the ground. Then, long silence. But it is still out there, deep in the mines, hidden, humming and calling for someone to find it and free it from its ancient prison. Many players find their first experience in the Storm Plains shocking and often deadly, but maybe you can brave the storms, and maybe you can ignore the voices, or maybe you'll become like all the rest. Either way, I hope you find the experience enlightening.